Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm reading for Scorpio energy today. Scorpios, how are you? I feel flirty around you. I don't know why, because the energy that's coming through is I feel intimidated by you. I feel like a little bit scared of your energy today. I don't know what that is. It's just you feel like that kind of compelling side, that kind of I see right through you aspect of Pluto, who you're ruled by, seems to be coming through. I feel very seen. I feel very witnessed. I feel very seen. Now, what's interesting to me is as I was kind of thinking this, the underlying card after I shuffled is Persephone, Youth, Rebirth, and Innocence. So if you know the typical cards that associate with Scorpio energy in the tarot, one of them is the High Priestess card, and the High Priestess is associated with the goddess Persephone. So this is a very, very Scorpionic card. It makes a lot of sense. But I also associate that kind of Hades Pluto energy with your sign too. So it's almost like the masculine and the feminine version of Scorpio coming through. What's interesting to me as well, I'm kind of drawn back to Libra's reading. There was some cards that were kind of confusing me in Libra's reading, and I don't know if I said it out loud. It was like the Lover's card, the Devil card, and the Chariot. I don't know if I said it out loud, but I was thinking of the myth of Pluto, where he rides in, he sees Persephone and he falls madly in love with her, and he rides in and he picks her up and whisks her off in his chariot. So obviously, I'm not encouraging anyone to kind of like forcibly take anyone somewhere where they don't want to go. That would be a terrible, terrible thing. Do not do that. Big disclaimer. People need personal autonomy. Please don't mess with that. But I'm thinking of that myth. So yeah, sorry, I just sometimes I get things intuitively that I hold back from saying on camera. But yeah, you're there, Persephone, High Priestess, Scorpio energy on the bottom, and again that kind of intimidating feeling like I don't know, I can't tell which one you are, right? I can't tell, because you could be both. Like Libra had this thing about being both energies, like the embodiment of the yin and the yang, yin and yang, sorry, not yin. So yeah, you've got like almost like the plutonic energy, which is like this, it's almost like a detective, right? It's like seeing right through, like someone who sees right through you, which is intimidating, right? It makes you feel exposed. So I can't tell if you're the one seeing right through or if you're the one that feels exposed. Is that a song coming in? Hold on. I was getting a song. It didn't come in fully. It was very faint. And I couldn't. Sometimes with my intuition, it's like I have to be quiet, and it's almost like tuning in a radio to make the frequency louder. But again, sometimes it's all like overlapping waves. So as I'm trying to dial into that very faint song and pull it in, over the top of it, I got that So Macho song, which has come through, I think, 3 times now in readings. It came through. See, I don't know if I can't remember which reading it came through because I've done like, what, you're the 11th reading now this week. Technically the 13th reading. Oh, unlucky for some, right? Because I lost Gemini and Libra's readings. I had to redo them. But somewhere, someone along the way had So Macho. And then I think it was, who got that reading? There was a reading in the last set of readings, and if you go back, it had like a guy riding a horse on the thumbnail, because I was getting that So Macho song and Clint Eastwood. Was it Scorpio? I don't feel like it was Scorpio. Is it Sagittarius? But it was like I'm just pulling it back in because it may be something to do with your reading. But he was talking about the idea of like kind of toxic masculinity and what a man should be, right? A man should be so macho, and then kind of like softening that and not being so restrictive with roles and stereotypes of what a man should be, and just letting people be who they are. So yeah, go back and watch that reading if that's relevant to you in any kind of way. Maybe something to explore. Hang on. Sorry, they're showing me. My mum really liked the actor who played the Incredible Hulk. She was a Scorpio, that's why I'm saying this. She was a Scorpio and she really, really liked that. She kind of liked those kind of like almost like cavemen like men. Gotta be big and strong enough to turn me on. Yeah, I didn't share that. I didn't share that attraction. I was like, that's an you like the Incredible Hulk. That's a bit of an odd one, mum. I was like, I like Batman. Give me the brain. Give me that detective brain, right? Okay. Morgan Le Fay, there you are. Scorpio. It's been coming through. It's almost like Bad Witch, Good Witch. So that is a theme that's come up a few times. This card's been out a lot in the readings. I think it came out for... who did it come out for? Maybe Aquarius, I think, had it. But I've seen this card a few times now. And then, yeah, I remember in Aquarius talking about, you know, the musical Wicked, where it's like the witches in The Wizard of Oz, and kind of exploring their stories a little bit more. But yeah, it feels like Wicked Witch of the West and then like Good Witch of the South. I can't remember where the witches came from. Okay. Morgan Le Fay, Witchcraft, Divination, Magic and Power. I'm just going to go ahead and read this because, again, it's come out a few times and I feel like I need to refresh my memory about the description of this card. Oh, so I'm using Goddesses Among Us and Angels Among Us. Don't worry too much about the gender of the card. Take it more about the... don't worry about like the deity itself if that's not something that aligns with you and your own belief system, or the gender of the card. When I'm saying that this refers to you, it's going to be aspects of you and your personality and psyche, or something that you're dealing with at the moment. So look more about the keywords and the description of the card: witchcraft, divination, magic and power. So maybe you're tapping into your own powers of divination and psychic abilities, and you know, you're dabbling with the idea of like being a witch. Maybe you're even just putting on a performance, right? You're dressing up and doing like, I don't know, a play of Maleficent at school, you know, something. It could be anything like that, but just kind of, you know, be open to the idea and we'll kind of explore it together and see what it means. They're giving me something. It's like, she's a witch. I don't know if it's out of a musical. It's almost like Burn the Witch, right? It's, she's a witch. But it feels like it's musical. Like I'm going to start singing. Magic, witchcraft, divination, power. Morgan Le Fay is known in the Arthurian legends as the half-sister of King Arthur and the student and, according to some myths, lover of the great magician Merlin. Her name means Morgan the Fairy, and she's depicted in the early myths as a magical fairy being, one of 9 sisters who took King Arthur to the Isle of Avalon and healed him after he was fatally wounded in battle. I was getting, kind of in my downtime, I was getting a lot of stuff about like King Arthur, Arthurian legends, Excalibur. I think I may have put a reading up that where because I kept on getting this card that said the lake, and I think I did a reading on the lake, and I can't remember if I discussed it in there or not, but yeah, definitely I was getting cards that were like the lake, you know, Ace of Swords, the Magician. It was very, very, very much felt like they were giving me King Arthur and Arthurian legends, so that could be something for somebody too. Morgan Le Fay was a helper, healer and protector to the king in the early myths, but was later seen as a villain, a woman crazy with power who used magic and witchcraft to get her way. It is interesting to note that the myths began to change in the Middle Ages when women doing magic was seen as something to be feared. As women take back their power, I don't think it was necessarily seen as something to be feared, or if that was manufactured through propaganda of, you know, especially, I mean, it wasn't the Middle Ages, but if you look at Jacobean times and King James, I think there was a lot of kind of Christian or Catholic propaganda against women with power in Europe. Again, you can just look into the history of that, and that's not to say, you know, we're not like throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. I think, you know, we're talking about things that were historical. So just to kind of put that in context, I don't know. It is interesting to note that the myths began to change in the Middle Ages, where women doing magic were seen as something to be feared. As women take back their power and magic and witchcraft move more into the mainstream, Morgan Le Fay is now being seen for what she really was. Maybe, oh, it might be the Crucible. I wonder if I was getting the Crucible. You know, is it Arthur Miller? maybe somebody's, because I was getting stage play, maybe somebody's doing like a stage play of that. That's kind of the intuitive hits that I'm getting. A powerful and magical woman who, like all of us, has the power to both harm and heal. Many people in modern times are being drawn to Morgan Le Fay as a powerful guide who can help them access and activate their spiritual power so they can use their magic in ways that help both themselves and others. So again, with you getting things like, with you being Scorpio, right? Scorpio, you're the most mystical, kind of magical sign out of all of them. You know, you tend to have the most associations, again, being ruled by Pluto, and sometimes Mars. You seem to have this kind of like natural leaning or natural ability or natural curiosity to explore these kind of ideas. And again, it's dependent on your full chart. So you may have other placements that kind of, you know, maybe water it down, maybe make it more powerful, maybe make you have guilt over it. So especially have a look at things like your Lilith. If you had like a Scorpio Lilith, you know, you'd feel guilt around, you know, your more magical, mystical kind of dark side. So check out your full chart for kind of like how that affects you personally. The Oracle, embrace your power, remember your magic, and remember you are magic. Use your magic to heal and help yourself and others. Embody the energy of Morgan Le Fay by owning your spiritual power, practicing your own brand of witchcraft, embracing and owning being a witch, not worrying about people who don't get you, and using magic to help and heal others. Okay, so with great power comes great responsibility. I'm hearing social responsibility. Yeah, going with this deck. So this is the Lightseers Tarot by Chris Ann. If you're interested in this one, giving credit where credit's due, or at least trying to. What do we have, please? Morgan Le Fay. It's like holding on or holding back your power. Or like saving your power. It's like storing your power. There could be something about money. Maybe you're trying to save money, so you're using manifestation techniques. I'm working with Pluto, who, you know, Pluto, Hades, Dissipator, this archetype from ancient Greece and Rome and surrounding areas. He is associated with wealth because, you know, people would call him the wealthy one, the wealthy god, because Pluto's job as, again, he wasn't like the devil, and he wasn't evil in any sort of way, no more than any of the other gods were good or evil. But if you're not familiar with the myth, and I assume most of you are, but Pluto or Hades, he and two of his brothers, Zeus and Poseidon, they drew straws basically to see which realm each would rule. So there was the heavens, the celestial heavens, the clouds, and they're giving me the word for it. It's like Kalo. I'm seeing it, not hearing it. I don't want to say it because I feel like I'm going to get it wrong. The earthly realm, right? The world, the overground, and the underground. The you know, Hades, which, you know, was the underworld itself. You know, and you know. I don't know why I keep saying that. And so he kind of got the short straw, basically, Hades, and it was like, right, your job is to go and rule the underworld, make sure like the dead stay down there and don't kind of like rise up and roam around the earth like zombies. You know, you've got to gatekeep that place. You know, you've got to make sure people get the punishments if they need punishing, if they've led an evil life. You've got to make sure you process people, like whatever happens, depending on what myth you're referring to, because there's different myths and different versions. And yeah, so he was down there chilling, having a bird, just chilling. And because he ruled under the earth, one of his jobs was to put riches in the earth. So he had to put minerals and precious stones and metal in the earth, which could be mined and, you know, which made people on the earth quite rich. You know, it was his job, and it was his job to put nutrients in the earth so that the crops would grow well and things like this. So he was not the devil. You know, he was much more of a job's worth, I guess, a businessman. the CEO of the underworld, if you want to look at it that way. So yeah, I think, where was I going with that? So if you're using your natural energy, again, as a sign ruled by Pluto, to be like, should we make some money here? I've got this magic. Should we do something with it? Should we try and get a nice, comfortable life, or get some money together so that we can do some good in the world? You know, that's definitely something within the realm of Scorpio and, you know, your ruling planet. Sorry, you may hear my tummy rumbling. I don't know if I'm a bit poorly. It is just tummy rumbles. It's really embarrassing. But I want to get the readings done, right? I can't just keep putting things off. Yeah, but you're coming through again with this kind of like almost Persephone energy, right? Almost like kind of like wombles, like overground, underground, wombling free. Scorpio's happy and so are we. Yeah, you want Scorpio. Oh, unhappy Scorpios. I had a Scorpio boss, and you knew, like, as soon as she walked in, you'd know if you were having a good day or a bad day, because her mood affected the entire team. So if she came in and she was happy and smiley and chatty, we'd all be like, we're having a good day. Great, good times. If she came in and there was like a dark cloud over her, it was like, well, we're gonna have a bad day. Like, you know, she really affected everybody energetically in that way. It's funny as well, I was thinking about that. I had a dream about that workplace. What's going on? What energy is around Scorpio in the month of February? What energy can Scorpio tap into in the month of February? Cutie. So you got all purple. Who had all the purple cards? I feel like it was Aquarius. Check out Aquarius's reading. And Virgo got this card. This card's getting around a little bit. This card's out to have some fun. And yeah, just watch your boundaries with this one. Boundaries, psychic protection, intuition, and pleasure. Bastet. So yeah, this energy was coming through very much as like a playmate. Somebody that Virgo was looking to have a good time with. I wonder if it's Pisces. It's like, it's not actually come out in this position yet. So I'm like, who is this? It's, again, not good, not bad. You know, people are who they are. People are looking for what they were looking for. And as long as everybody has clear boundaries and, you know, is agreeable, then, you know, if you want to go and have a good time with somebody, you can do it. It could be a friend, I don't know. Bastet or Bast is an ancient Egyptian cat goddess, appearing in early Egypt as a lioness protector and warrior goddess. She eventually evolved into being a domestic cat goddess, while Sekhmet became the lion-headed goddess. It's making me think of I can't remember, I don't even know, I can't tell the difference between them. One of the Kardashians at Paris Fashion Week, I think it's Paris Fashion Week. Was it the Schiaparelli show? It's recently, it's like within the last couple of weeks, and she had this black dress on and this massive lion head, and she sat there watching the show and stroking this lion head. I don't know why it's making me think of that, but again, it could be some kind of reference for somebody. Daughter of the goddess Isis and the god Ra and the consort of Ptah, Bastet is known for her protective powers and strong cat-like intuition. It feels like an aspect of yourself. It's either somebody who's very aligned with you or another aspect of you, and is a goddess of healing, pleasure, play, and fun. Call on Bastet to help you set strong cat-like boundaries and embody the playful, pleasure-seeking, and intuitive aspects of domestic cats. The Oracle invokes psychic and energetic protection around you. Say no to protect your boundaries. Give yourself permission to enjoy all the pleasures that life has to offer. Call on Bastet for assistance with lost or sick cats, any other issues with domestic cats, bringing more fun, play, and pleasure into your life. Developing your intuition, psychic and magical protection, and celebrations, dances, and parties. Why is Bastet here, please? Why is Bastet here for Scorpio? Why is Bastet here for Scorpio? Ooh, thought about it. Temperance could be Sagittarius. And death and rebirth. Don't worry too much. Don't freak out. Don't freak out about death. Death, you know, the death card is a portal. It's it's something ending, so something new can begin. It doesn't have to be a literal death. It can be a metaphorical death. Temperance and death and rebirth. Yeah, I don't know. Temperance is really giving me this like overground, underground energy, right? Like in and out of. There could be something about somebody's like, you know how cats sometimes like go and meow at something in the corner of the room, and you're like, there's nothing there, and they'll start chasing something, and you're like, there's nothing there, stop freaking me out. You know, like how people say like cats. You know, like maybe you're getting a cat. Maybe you're like doing the typical witch thing. You're gonna get a broomstick. You're gonna get a cat. You're gonna have a great time. You're gonna drink tequila and dance around your kitchen to lime and coconut, referencing Practical Magic. If you didn't get that reference, yeah, maybe you're getting a cat. Maybe you have a cat who, my cat was called Bess, you know, it's a similar name, and she was a black cat, very typical kind of like witchy cat. You know, she was badass. I loved her. She thought she was a panther. Attitude problem, but soft as muck. And you know, she passed away quite suddenly, and it was really upsetting. But she'd be around the house like so much. Like after she passed away, we'd feel her jumping on because she was a lump. We'd feel her jumping on the bed. You know, we'd hear the cat flap going. We'd just sense her presence around. So you know, if you believe in spirits and souls and the afterlife, you know, and the idea that they visit you, you know, that may be something that you're kind of exploring as well. But again, maybe it's something to do with like your own familiar. And this could be, again, be like a friend who, it's almost like a sidekick energy or something. But it's like this ability to move in between realms, like in and out of realms, right? Through the portal, through the gate. So maybe something to do with like astral projection, you know, closing your eyes, meditating, being able to receive messages. And then like temperance, it's almost like the balance between these two worlds. Okay, we need more information, don't we? Short reading. Morgan Le Fay and Four of Pentacles. No. Sorry, I'm being told no. So you're a witch, right? Modern Witch Tarot. Do you know what I want to ask? What is the energy between you and this other? Again, it could be like almost like a. You know how people talk about like shape shifting or seeing through the eyes of an animal, like it's kind of like Native American culture, isn't it, where it's like shaman, almost like being able to project into the body of an animal or something like that. It's like almost like an astral animal self. What's the energy between these two? What's the energy between these two? It could be different for all of you. Page of Swords, watching, learning, gathering information, figuring this out, or figuring something out. Okay. Tell me more about Scorpio's energy. Obviously, Pluto. The unicorn. I don't know, it kind of giving me Voldemort. You know, Voldemort's like drinking the unicorn blood. Don't do that. No, this is something very rare. I want to say you have a very, very rare gift or a very, very rare soul. Again, with the idea of magic. Somebody had a song by Lana Del Rey. I think it was Libra. And the YouTube videos for the song were from a movie called I think it's like Death Note, which is like an anime. But it's this idea of like somebody who holds the power of life and death. And I don't want to say that you have that, but I want to say there is some kind of like, you have some kind of like dark plutonic magic that's very unique, I want to say. So be careful with it and use it for good, right? Because if you use it for bad, it's bad karma. This energy has a lot of integrity. Sagittarian energy has high values. They believe in right and wrong. It might be their own version of right and wrong, but they have those strong values. Intuition, pleasure, boundaries, psychic protection. Mars, Pluto and Mars, look at that, the Queen. Have a look at your Mars placement. Yeah, look up your Mars placement. Explore what that means. You could have like Scorpio Mars, Sagittarius Mars. But this is like to do with your action, your drive, what turns you on, what gets you fired up, what gets you passionate, what makes you move, what motivates you, what you do with all that energy, how you handle that energy, how you handle those kind of situations. Yeah. She reminds me of Doja Cat. Doja Cat has a Scorpio Venus placement. Okay. Believe in your own magic. Advice, please. Right, they want song first. Sorry. They showed me my phone, so I'm taking that as song first. You're kind of inscrutable as well, Scorpio. What's going on for Scorps? I don't know what you're up to. I don't know if you hear my tummy rumble again then. Hold Me Down by Halsey. What a Scorpio song. Hold Me Down by Halsey. My demons are begging me to open up my mouth. I need them mechanically make the words come out. They fight me, vigorous and angry, watch them pass. You might have to go and do some shadow work. If you don't know what that is, Google it. They fight me, vigorous and angry, watch them pounce. Ignite me, licking up the flames they bring about. I sold my soul to a three-piece, and he told me, three-piece I always take as like a businessman, right? CEO type energy, like somebody in a three-piece suit. Not like a sofa set. I sold my soul to a three-piece and he told me I was holy. He's got me down on both knees, but it's the devil that's trying to hold me down. Sneaking out the back door, make no sound, knock me out, saying that I want more, this is what I live for. Be very careful who you're associating with and what energies you're associating with, Scorpio. Hold me down, throw me in the deep end and watch me drown, knock me out, saying that I want more, this is what I live for. Selfish, taking what I want and call it mine. I'm helpless, clinging to a little bit of spine. They rush me, telling me that I'm running out of time. They shush me, walking me across a fragile line. Yeah, be very, very careful who you're dealing with, like who are you working with, what contracts are you signing. Warning bells, Scorpio. Yeah, it's like do your research before you agree to anything. Be your own first priority. Mural. Whatever you're currently grappling with, you must put yourself first. And when you're on an aeroplane, they always tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before you try to help your neighbour with theirs. That is to say, if you don't make sure your own energy bar is full, then you'll have no energy to give to someone else. Be brave enough to admit when you need to take a step back from the demands of others and working on making sure you're okay. Okay, if you are the person that was in, I want to say it was in Aquarius's reading, somebody got this, I can't think who it was exactly, but somebody did get this card. Could have been Gemini as well. And it came through as somebody who was dealing with somebody who was not okay. They were not capable of looking after themselves. They were not capable of making conscious, good decisions. Their mental health was bad. They were not happy. They were spiraling. If that's you, then you need to take care of yourself. You need to prioritize your mental health, because there was a lot of, again, it could be that you need to go and do some shadow work. Again, look up Carl Jung shadow work, because there was somebody who was not okay in somebody's reading, and it came out with that card. So if this is you, it may be that you need to reach out to professional services to get some advice or support. It's important to be self-aware. It's important to understand the cycles that you're stuck in and why you're in those cycles, but in a way where you're empowering yourself and not sometimes we can get in blame cycles where it's like, I'm on this destructive path and it's this person's fault. And the thing is, you're the only person who can really make choices for you. You're in charge of you, right? Nobody else is in charge of you. And yes, there can be complications. There can be laws and contracts, and whether that's real contracts like legal contracts or soulmate contracts. There can be things going on situationally, but at the end of the day, you make choices for you. And just be wary of where you're, because if you're, sometimes when we blame others and say, I'm behaving like this because of that person, we're not only giving away responsibility for our own actions, we're also giving away our self-empowerment, right? It's like when we blame someone else, it's like, I don't have personal autonomy, it's all this person's fault. Well, actually the truth is you do, right? So that's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be for everybody. Some of you, you're just feeling very, very empowered. You're really working on yourself, your psychic connections and all that good stuff. Others of you, you're in a little bit of a destructive phase. Again, it can be self-destructive and destructive to those around you. If that's you, because there's different people coming to the reading, yeah, that's not a good path for you. And I don't know if somebody's got caught up in the idea of vengeance. I blame them, so I want to hurt them by hurting myself. I don't think that's a path that you're going to want to keep following, right? Because it's not going to, it doesn't provide you with answers. I have the feeling that if we don't do shadow work and we don't deal with our wounding and our toxic behavior patterns in this life, we carry them through to the afterlife, and then we carry them through to the next life, right? We're going to carry those burdens until we learn the lessons. And a lot of the time, the lessons include taking personal responsibility, taking ownership, understanding that yes, sometimes things happen that are not our fault or that are not our control. And I'm not victim blaming, by the way. I want to make that clear. If that's certain situations, again, coming from Hold Me Down by Halsey, I'm not victim blaming, but I'm saying that a lot of the time self-empowerment comes from change, right? Like change and self-empowerment and improvements to our situation come when we actively do something about it, when we actively say, I'm taking my power back. And again, that's not blaming yourself. It's not blaming other people. I think there could be something about releasing blame and almost saying, instead of, I don't know if you've got this kind of like nostalgia, almost like maybe it's a water sign thing, this kind of like holding on to the past, again, holding on to the idea of vengeance or blame. It's like, sometimes that could be subconscious as well. And sometimes we have to kind of put on our brakes and like look at ourselves and say, hang on, why am I behaving this way? How am I behaving? Let's look at this from a different perspective here. Again, it's like slow things down, to be temperate. I don't know if you're overdoing things, like, you know, things that you're putting into your body that could be harmful to you, temperance, right? You know, if we can spiral, we can get into bad patterns, and, you know, that doesn't mean we can't reset and get on a different path and a different pattern, but it's to be aware of the patterns and the why of the patterns, right? What's causing me to behave this way? And just because something's happening that it's like almost, I'm seeing something, I'm sorry, I'm getting intuitive messages. So it's almost like if there's a cycle for you, it's like, this happens in the situation, I have this reaction, right? This situation happens, I have this reaction. You don't have to have that reaction. That situation can happen and you can go, I usually have this reaction. What if I do something different? This idea of doing something different or doing something unexpected or taking a different path has come up quite a lot. So what if you swap it? What if you do something slightly different? What if you change that pattern? What if you paint a new picture, right? What if you tell a new story? It's almost like got like a change the past, change the future. Change how you perceive the past will change how you behave in the future. Okay, I think there's more. If that's you, and again, it's not going to be for everybody, but if you're still here and this is you, there's more work that needs to be done here than I'm capable of helping you with, right? You need to go and do research and explore options in terms of like, is there anyone else that you can speak to who has expertise in this? Whether this is legal advice, whether this is, speaking to a counselor, whether this is speaking to a doctor, whether this is approaching somebody at work to talk about the issues you're having, right? You need to talk, you need more. An aspect of Scorpio is secrecy. A lot of the time, I know, again, my mum was Scorpio. Sometimes Scorpio will absolutely keep stuff to themselves and bottle things up and be like, and that's how Scorpio deals, right? Scorpio deals by imploding, and it's so as not to cause damage to those around you, right? My mum would keep secrets from me because she didn't want to hurt me. Not that she was hurting me, but by speaking these things, and by sharing that knowledge, that high priestess knowledge with me, it could be something that would make me worry or make me concerned, and she wanted to protect me from that. So again, this imploding that you seem to be doing it's in the long run, it will hurt the people you're trying to protect, because you're hurting yourself, right? If you hurt yourself and there's love here, you hurting yourself is going to hurt those that you're loving, and you're trying not to hurt the people that you're loving. So you've got this, you need to open up, you need to speak to somebody, and even if that's like a personal advice line. All right, if that's your situation, I really, really hope this was really helpful to you. Again, just because the thing as well, if you're blaming yourself, just because you've made bad decisions and bad choices and got yourself into bad situations in the past, it doesn't mean that that's your forever situation, right? And there will be routes that can help you. It's just could be having trouble seeing them right now. Let's get another energy that can help you. If this is somebody's situation, who can help? Who can they call upon to help? This card came out for Libra. In the reading that got deleted, and I was laughing because it's such a it's not the card I was expecting to see. I was expecting to get something more Venusian, but it was so Libran, and it's very much like the Justice card in the tarot. So again, it could be that you need to speak to a solicitor, a legal advisor. There could be courts happening. You could be talking to someone who deals with writing contracts, enforcing contracts, anything to do with like contracts, paperwork, legalities, right? Balance, justice, truth. So yeah, that's, I want to say, a direction for you to explore, because you need to, again, this could be getting legal advice. All right, I hope this was really helpful to you. Please, 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 please do that self-care. Take care of yourself. Remember to be your own first priority, because you deserve love. I think Libra had that as well. You deserve sugar, not salt. We all deserve love. Take care. I will see you again soon. Bye, Scorpios.